join in the next few minutes. Who we got on here now? Let's see. We'll go to live chat so we can see all that on here. Just get this started up here, and then let me get the color right too. Pop. There we go. Okay, so we should get some. Usually we get people on here. Usually within like 5 minutes, people start hopping on here. So we just gotta wait till they start hopping on here. Then we can get some chat going. Okay. Hey, it's Blue Fate. How you doing, Blue Fate? And who else we got on here? We got 2 people on here. I just heard some good news, guys. They're actually doing a feasibility study. Let me see if I can go back to that. I'll tell you what it says. It's kind of interesting. I might share it with you guys a little bit tonight. Let me see if I can find it on here again. I'll have to wait till it pops up, though. For Medicare, there's a feasibility study going on for Medicare right now. And it looks pretty interesting because they're having a bunch of Filipinos that work in the United States coming back to the Philippines, and it's actually cheaper for medical care over here for Medicare. So it's kind of interesting that they're actually doing that, you know. So I'm gonna actually do a vlog on it tomorrow, guys. I know we only got 3 people on here right now. Pretty soon we'll have some more, but they're actually doing a feasibility study because of all the nurses and medical people in the United States that are retiring that went over to the States, and they're all baby boomers. So it's gonna be pretty cool. Let's see. Blue Fate says, "Is marriage worth it in the West?" You mean in the Philippines? It's over here? Yeah, sure. Keith Michael Everman, how you doing, Doctor? How you doing, Keith? Let's see. You guys can just like shoot questions to me. We only got 4 people on here right now. We're just waiting for more people to get on here, and then we usually start rolling. It rolls pretty good and fast, you know. We'll see how many, because everybody knows to come on here now on Saturday nights. We get quite a good crew on here usually. It'll speed up right around 10 o'clock. Let's see. But any questions you guys got, just shoot them at me. Let's see, Bluefay, you were talking about marriage. Are you talking about over here? Because if you're talking about marriage over here, yeah, the girls over here are pretty decent. If you keep them over here, it works out better most of the time. You know, in America, in the UK, are you talking about taking a Filipino back there? No, I wouldn't recommend that. I actually did that when I was young and stupid, and I took a Filipino back there, and she just changed really quickly too. Unfortunately, sadly, you know. But I'll take a Filipino back there, you know, no way. That's just my advice, you know. Let's see, we got like 10 people on here now. No, American woman, no, no, absolutely not, you know. I wouldn't. There's some good American women out there. I don't want to say that they're bad, but they're definitely changing. The United States has changed, man, in the past 10 years really fast, too. People have changed back there, both men and women, unfortunately, you know. Let's see. Keith says, never bring them back to the USA. Exactly. Stay over here, you know. So, I mean, with that talk, it's on the site, usmedicareph.org, and it's under this article called "Thank You, President Biden, for donating U.S. vaccines to the Filipino people." You can check out that article I was just talking about Medicare, if any of you guys are interested in that. Let's see. Tim says, "Hi, Steve. I contacted Mary Rose. She got back to me the next day with the info I asked for. So far, so good." Yeah, Tim, don't worry about that. She's a good person. You know, she's just busy right now with people over here. So she will help you, okay? But she has a lot on her plate right now. And, you know, like right now, there's not much you can really do, you know, except start getting your papers together and stuff like that. So you'll be good. Don't worry. See, Blue Fate says, I've been crunching numbers, and I think I won't be able to go to the Philippines until I get degree in decent remote work. Yeah, people come over here and they start podcasts and stuff like that. Well, and so you say you probably, hey, don't laugh, Blue Fate. I started my plans 4 years before. Okay, and I actually started talking to my girlfriend then 4 years before I came here. We were friends for a year, and then we actually started getting serious. And you know, she talked to me day and night. You know, and when I was working on weekends, she was in my ear all the time because on the earbud. while I was walking around. And I was doing security work on weekends, and on weekdays I was working as a school safety officer. I was working for the city of Lawrence, Massachusetts. So, but who else we got on here? We got 13 people on here. You guys got any other questions? We can keep on flying here. So, and anything's open, guys. You guys can talk about anything. I'm open to any questions. Let's see. Blue Fate says, do Philippine girls even talk to guys my age online? I'm only 20. You're only 20? Yeah, they will. There's girls over here that are, like 18, 19 years old, and they'll talk to you for sure. Yeah. Yeah. If you wanna talk to somebody, you can always email me at steven5975@yahoo.com. I can find somebody for you to talk to. If you're interested in talking to somebody over here, sure, I'll help you out. Just email me, and give me your information, or you can ask me when you're on there. Ask me for my my YouTube. I mean, not my YouTube, my Facebook rather. Ask me for my Facebook account, and I'll let you on there. Robert Carter says, how much would you pay for a washer and dryer? Probably about the same as what it is back in the U.S. or anywhere else. It's no different. I bought a nice washer over here. It wasn't that expensive. I didn't find it any more expensive than back home. I mean, I know prices have changed. I bought mine like 3 years ago, so I really can't quote your price, but I didn't think it was any different than back home, So, and they have different types of washers over here. They have very low quality washers, or they have really, really good washers. We bought a really good one. I didn't want to buy the low quality one. We bought one and it broke down like 3 months later or something. Don't get any junk. They're made of plastic and stuff, and they're just junk. Let's see. Keith says, do not come here if you think you are going to work. You cannot take a job away from a Filipino. Yeah, you're right, Keith. It's hard. He's talking about remote working. It's a little bit different. There's a lot of people over here that come over here and do remote work. And Willie White says, good day. How you doing, Willie? But to get back to remote working, there's a lot of people over here that are doing stuff. I mean, some people do the vlogs. Some people do podcasts. Some people do ebooks. Some people do Amazon sales, stuff like that. This stuff you can do. But you have to be really good at what you're doing and really do a lot of research. It's not easy, Some people do teaching with the TEFL courses. They teach Chinese kids how to speak English, or even adults over in China how to speak, Let's see, Keith says, get your clothes washed and ironed for pennies. Yeah, it's true. You send your clothes out over here, it costs you almost nothing. So I don't know why you need a washer and a dryer, because, you send it out and it costs almost nothing. I mean, we send out our like blankets and sheets and stuff like that, and it costs us almost nothing. We also send out like some of our clothes every once in a while, just to get them done. They fold them, they send them back to you in a bag, and it's all nice and folded and ready to be put away, Let's see. Roger says, is there a follow on today's Robinson Mall stream? Yes, there is, Roger. There's another one that's going to come on 4 a.m. Let's see, in exactly 6 hours it'll probably come on. Okay, I think that's the next part of that is Manila Bay. I think. Okay, I think I was just getting ready to cross the street at the end of that, Roger. Okay, so. And then Robert says, my dryer is my iron. Yeah, that can work too. We actually wash our clothes here and we dry them out front, and that works for us, But if you live in like the city and stuff like that, it's a little harder because it's just there's so much pollution out there. Your clothes get all dirty fast. You don't want that. You're better off taking them to you can get a dryer, too, a washer and a dryer if you want to do it yourself, Some houses are set up for it, some aren't. It depends on what type of house you get. This house, we have the washer out back, but we don't have a dryer here, And France says, hi, Steve, would you, by any chance, go to Porto Galera? I have been there for more than 35 years ago. I haven't actually been there. I haven't been down there. I think you're talking, let's see, Porto Galera, I think that's Palawan. It's not an area that I've been to. I think that's what you're talking about. Correct, France? I could be wrong. I know it's not around my area, I've been down to like Iloilo and that area, Boracay, and, I've been around most of lower Luzon and stuff like that. But the other islands, a lot of them I haven't been to. So I've been to some of the smaller islands around here, So If you guys got more questions, just keep shooting them here so I can keep going here. Let's see. Robert says, have you found regular milk? Looked last time I was there, couldn't find any. You know what, Robert? Actually, if you buy the Nestle's milk, I have it right here. I'll actually show you. Okay? And that's it right there. That milk there tastes like regular milk. Okay? If you're looking for regular milk, that works, you know? And it works pretty good too. So, let's see. Get this back up again. Let's see. Keith says, woman will tell can work here to get you out here. Yeah, be careful what women tell you. You know, that's true. Only good job is teach English online. You do not need certification. You should though. You should have a TEFL. The TEFL helps you, Keith. Without the TEFL, most places won't hire you. You need some sort of certification. If you're a teacher, you're even better off. Actually, more places will hire you. You know, and then let me just shut this off so I don't get the notifications here. I hope it's off. Let's see. Let me go back to where we were. Hello, let's see. Sal Phillies. Hello, Steve. Shout out from Philadelphia. I'm 47-year-old. Do you think I could survive in the Philippines with 150K in savings until I'm eligible for retirement? Let's see. You probably could. Yeah, you could. It'd be close, as long as you bought insurance and stuff like that. I mean, if you talk to me on the phone, I could do that better. If you email me at Steven5975, I mean, I'd have to run that over in my head for a while and do the math and stuff like that and figure it out. Because you could probably do it. I don't know. That's kind of a close one. You know what I mean? Because you do need some emergency money and stuff like that if something happens. But I'd have to talk to you to see what you're going to get for retirement first. Okay? Because, you know, maybe when you hit retirement, when that money's gone, you're not going to have enough. I recommend you work till like you're 55 and get some more money put away. That's just my thoughts on that. But I know a lot of things are changing in the world, and a lot of people want to move out from wherever they're at. But you feel free to call me, email me from my phone number if you need to talk. I'll talk to you as long as you need to talk. I have an American phone number. You can call me direct over here. Let's see. Francisco says SNR has regular milk. California sunshine. Let's see. Balut John Baker says watching from Bakersfield, California. Welcome aboard, John. Let's see. Tony Hutchinson says Portugalera is in Mindoro, I believe. Let's see. Mindoro. Maybe it is. I don't know. I'm not that sure. I haven't been out to Mindoro yet. That's one of the places I'm probably going to go next. I was actually invited out there by one of the subscribers. He has some property out there, and he's setting it up to do like cottages or something to do with like containers. And he's gonna make them into like little apartments or something. And Tom Pear is on here. How you doing, Tom? Good morning. Do you notice a lot of women getting tattoos in your travel areas, or is it mostly the bar area girls? You know what, Tom? I actually do notice a lot of. It's funny you mentioned that because I was looking at a girl today, and I wouldn't say that they're all bar girls. No, I saw a girl today. She was beautiful and she looked like a normal everyday girl. And you know you can't always tell which is which, but she didn't look like she was a bar girl by no means. And she had tattoos on her back and on her leg. I noticed another girl today. She had tattoos on her leg, and she looked, you know, well dressed and well put together. And she was shopping around and buying a lot of stuff. So, you know, it seemed like she come from like a well-to-do family, and she had tattoos. Tattoos are pretty popular here now, you know. So, Caparn says Portugalera is just a boat ride from Batangas City. There you go. I knew I had heard of it, but I wasn't, because I know Mindoro has a place that sounds similar, so I wasn't really sure. But yeah, Batangas City, that's not too far away from me. Let's see, but I'm not that familiar with Mindoro at all, you know. So Frankie says, how do you find happy ending massage girls? You find them at the wrong massage parlor, okay? That's where you find them, you know. Most places actually don't do that. You know, there's this false thing that any massage parlor in the Philippines does that. And actually more of them do it in the United States than they do here. Believe it or not, that's true. You know, because I remember going to get a massage in the United States, and they offered that, and you know, I'm not into that stuff, so I stay away from it to stay out of trouble. You know, especially with the job that I had, I didn't need to get busted. Graham Pierce, rental prices vary a lot in the Philippines. In Leyte, our rental house for 2 bedroom is 14,000. A basic 1 bedroom rental is 7,000. Yeah, they do vary a lot. I pay for 1 bedroom here. I pay $65 US. That's all I pay, and it's a beautiful house. I have AC. It's clean. I have a shower. I have a flush toilet, and 2 refrigerators, plenty of plugs. We have a cabana outside. We have a porch, and it's nice. We have plugs outside for the washer. You know, so where you have to shop around. You have to shop around. You know. Scott Torres says, watching from West Point, California. Hi, Steve. How you doing, Scott? Welcome aboard. So we're up to about 40 people. Let's see, we have about 8 thumbs up. Keith says, never tell anyone what money you are coming down with. Exactly. Be really careful. Like, don't tell your girlfriends or anything like that how much money you got unless you know her really well or something like that, and you feel comfortable that you're gonna get married with her or whatever. But otherwise, no, don't mention that. It's just not a good thing. Frankie says, let me see. Frankie says, Tony Hutchison, hi Tony. Tony Hutchison, love you. Tony says, hey, there's a whole bunch of people talking on here. Let's see. Balut Jim Baker says, my wife just got a tattoo in Las Vegas for her birthday. She's been in USA for 7 years. Yeah, it's pretty popular. I mean, I got a couple of tattoos on my back from Belize, when I was in Belize, you know. It's actually a map of the island I used to go to, Key Cocker. Let's see. Richard Meadows says, is there ever going to be a time when passports will be good again? Passports or visas here? Passports are good now. You can travel now to a certain extent, but there's all kinds of hoops you have to jump through. Francisco Fletes says, happy ending massage is a terrible massage. Yeah, I don't even deal with that stuff, man. I stay away from places like that, you know? So, tattoos are a turn-off for me, Scott says. Hopefully there's more girls without them than there were with them. There is. Yeah, there's more without them. Yeah. Wen says, I'm a Marine vet. Why are marijuana laws so strict, and are there penalties for a small amount? There's big penalties over here. You don't want to fool around with that, Wen. You know, you don't want to fool with drugs over here, period. Seriously. One thing you never smell around here is marijuana. Like in the United States, when I lived in the city that I lived in, you could smell it everywhere, coming out of cars and everything. You'd be sitting at McDonald's and you'd smell it from the car in front of you because everybody had it and it was legal. Here, you never smell it. Never. I've never smelled it. Since when I was here back in the 80s, I did smell it back then. Since then, I haven't smelled it here, and I've been here over 3 years. You know, let's see. Tom Pierce, and then, but I was here back in the 80s too. Tom Pierce, 30 people forgot to click the thumbs up. There we go, Tom. There you go. Let's see. Tony Hutchinson says, yes, I know, Frankie Battaglia, easy to figure out. LOL. 2 guys are talking here, so it's kind of messing me up. That's okay, though. Robert Cardo, what was your rate in the Navy? I retired 2004. I was a MS, in the Navy. I was a cook on a submarine, and, I loved it. I actually loved it. I was stationed out of Charleston, South Carolina, and we were also out of Florida and Georgia. We were out of Cocoa. We'd pull into Cocoa Beach sometimes, and we'd pull into Kings Bay, Georgia. That was the other place we pulled into. Let's see. Actually, I was in there when John Lennon died. I was on a bus heading down there to the first boat I ever went on. That's when John Lennon died on that day. That's how I remember that day. I was on a bus heading down to my first submarine. I was actually heading down to Kings Bay, Georgia. See, Jen says, hey, Steve, thanks again for helping us out. Let's see, I have health insurance, but how much money should I put aside to be able to pay up front in case of emergency? Well, Jen, there's two ways to go about that, okay? And I tell people this. You can partially insure with the cheap, what they call peso plan, and they have an access card. Now, they'll pay up to $30,000, and it costs, if you're about 58, like my age, it's a little bit over $1,000. It's like about $1,100 a year. Okay, so that's less than $100 a month for insurance for $30,000 worth of insurance, and they give you the access card to pay the hospital directly. But you can get outpatient and inpatient. I just have inpatient right now. So once you're an inpatient, then they start covering it. Or if you have an emergency room visit, they'll cover the emergency room visit. But if you're not admitted, you have to cover that part. So what you do is you just try to get admitted, or you get the outpatient too. Okay, and then it's good to have at least $10,000 or more, just in case. God forbid you have a heart attack or something. I tell people that 50,000 if you can. But if you use a little bit of both, if you have like 15,000 around, then you're doing good. If you do the dollar plan, it's totally different. That costs you a lot more though. Okay, I hope that answers you. But I have a couple of videos on that. If you need to call Pacific Cross is the only one that I know of that has the access card that pays the hospitals directly. But it's only certain hospitals. Okay, so that's just a good thing to know. I mean, that's a really good plan to get for that price. That way it just kind of alleviates you from using your money, at least up to $30,000. And that's a big help right there. Let's see. Elma says, happy weekend, Steve, and family greetings. Thanks, Elma. I appreciate it. Let's see. Richard Meadows says, can I use my passport to go to PH? You can when they open, but that's about it. Robert Carter says, awesome food on subs. Let's see. Yeah, we did have awesome food. We actually had, submarines get a little bit more money than ships do. A lot of people don't know that. They used to, back then it was like $1 something more, something like that, if I remember correctly. Or $2 more, $1.50 something more. Let's see, Scott Torres says, what are the penalties for people who smoke weed in the Philippines? Well, it depends. If you're dealing with weed, you can get in bigger trouble. Smoking weed, you're probably going to jail, and then you have to sit there and wait. I mean, it's not so much the penalty, it's waiting to show up for your court appearance, because sometimes you might wait in prison for 3 years. Unless somebody bails you out and pays the bail to get you out, then you have to wait to go in, and then they any time you do in jail counts towards your prison sentence. But some people only get like a month or something like that, but they sit waiting in jail for 3 years trying to get before a judge because they don't have the money to bail themselves out or whatever. So that's the sad part about prison here. You don't want to go to prison here, man. I've seen the inside of the prisons here. I've gone in to see the prisons here. Not a good place, at all. Frankie Battaglia says 100K US. I'm not sure what you're talking about, Frankie. Are you talking about like money to have aside? Let's see. Scott Torres, yeah, I thought it was legal. No, it's not. It's not legal here at all. Let's see. Scott says, I was in the military when John Lennon died too. Giving away your age. Yeah, I am, man. I sure am. Tom Pear says, I was working at Kodak and on break outside at a picnic table when John Lennon died. That was a sad day, man. I remember that was a rainy, rainy day. It was really kind of depressing too, because I was getting ready to go out to sea for 3 months. It was a really depressing day. And when I got to the boat, it was like within 2 weeks we were heading out. So we were working really hard to load the boat and everything like that. We didn't have any time to think or anything, and it was really rough, It was my first patrol too, which made it even rougher, And I had some family things going on too at the same time. My grandmother was sick or something like that, so it made it even harder. See, Richard Meadows says, haha, okay, any idea when PH might open? I honestly believe they're going to open that green lane probably this month, but they don't want it to be rolled out and then look like a bunch of idiots this time, I don't think, because they've rolled out other things over here and then find out that, like they said, you have to be vaccinated in the Philippines and stuff like that. And like, nobody's been vaccinated in the Philippines except for Filipinos, and hardly anybody's been vaccinated. So they look kind of dumb when they rolled that out that time. And I don't think they're going to do that this time. See, Ace Meth says, hello from Hampton Beach, New Hampshire, Subic Bay, early 1970s, been a fan for a while. Thanks for your channel. Hampton Beach, I used to live up on O'Keefe Boulevard or O'Keefe Street. No, it was O'Keefe Street. Beverly's condos. I used to own 3 condos in there. I'm not sure if you know where that is. It's on the back streets. There's a store right down the street. It's a pretty popular store too, like a convenience store. You probably know where I'm talking about. If you're heading south, then you'll see the store. And then when you go by that store, O'Keefe Street or whatever it is on the right. It's been years since I've been there. Caparn says, you could get shot by Duterte's police if you were doing drugs. Yes, absolutely. You don't want to play with drugs over here. Blue Fate says, the Philippine Info Channel, why does the Philippines attract older men instead of men my age? Well, Blue Fate, because most of them are retired and they already have income coming in. And the younger crowd doesn't come over here because they don't have any money. We don't even get many people over here that do like, that work online and stuff like that. There are some people that do work online. There's more and more people are learning to work online. You can get jobs to work online a lot easier than you used to be able to, especially with the COVID now. You know, Tom Paris says, I had a local guy tell me that if you get caught with any amount of pot on them or in your car, they're going to jail. Absolutely, yeah. Vavoom says, message retracted, so I don't know what that's about. Wen says, I was there in Angeles City in 1981. A bar girl sold me and my buddies a half ounce of weed, but that was in 1981. Love the place, but that's what stops me from going back. LOL. Balut John Baker says, my cousin was on a nuclear submarine. That's cool. Let's see, I was on the Woodrow Wilson and the James K. Polk. Let's see. We used to pull up next to a ship called the Canopus. You know. Let's see. Tom Pierce says, wait a second. Wait a second here. Tom, your message just disappeared and it says message retracted, but okay. Smoky Mountain Modeler, good evening, Steve. Got a late start this AM. Jan K, thanks, but maybe you didn't get my point. I will have a German health insurance, but unlimited coverage. I guess I need money to pay the hospital until coverage. Oh, yeah, you definitely do. Okay, and then you just submit it. Okay, I guess I need money to pay the hospital until coverage kicks in so they don't send me home. Yeah, you do need some sort of coverage here for sure. You need some money to, you know, if you have an emergency or anything like that, to pay the hospital. You ain't leaving the hospital. The hospitals here are really funky about that. Let's see, Van Turner says, Tom, per SIGs look like rectangle here. Let's see, Apex says, good day, everyone. How you doing, Apex? Let's see. Jason USA, good evening, Steve. I enjoy watching and listening. You're very informative. Someday I may make it there. You will. You will. Everybody will make it here, man. You know, we also, I'm doing an article tomorrow. I talked about this at the beginning about Medicare. They're actually doing researching about letting people use Medicare over here. So just FYI, guys, times are changing because it's actually cheaper for us to use Medicare over here. And there's a ton of Filipinos that want to come home that are retiring in the United States that worked during the 60s, 70s, and 80s, and they were baby boomers. But they went over there, they had to work in the medical industry, and they want to go back to the Philippines, and they're fighting for Medicare. So we might have Medicare over here really soon. And I think it's going to happen. I'm going to post a vlog within the next 2 days about it, and I'll put a link to the article also. Okay, so we will cover that. It's actually a really, really good article. One of our subscribers, Nathan, sent me the article. Really, really good find. I don't know where he found it, but man, that's a really hot article. And it talks a little bit about Social Security and stuff like that going broke too. It's funny. It's actually an article about Joe Biden and the vaccinations and stuff like that, but it doesn't really talk about that. It talks about all Medicare stuff. Let's see. Scott says, Val, close the Philippines down after Delta variant starts to get pushed by the media and freak everybody out. It's kind of funny, like these variants, because everybody's jumping up about all this stuff. I just heard today, and it came from the CDC. They said that only 6% of the people that supposedly died of COVID actually died of COVID. That's from the CDC. That was put out. My cousin sent me a clip of the guy talking. He says that a lot of them weren't. So only 6%. That's kind of weird. You know, if that's true, but that's what the guy said, and the guy was from the CDC. Daniel Moore, hi Steve, great videos lately. Balut John Baker says, woman like Social Security money is form of security. Yes, it is for everyone, you know, for both the guy and the woman. How much money would you recommend? I'm not sure what you're talking about, Jan, as far as like for a savings for emergency, I would get as much as you can, depending on whether you self-insure or you use a little bit of both, like I said. I mean, I would say at least have like 20 to 50,000. I mean, you can come over here a little bit less, but you're kind of pushing it unless you kind of have like a Pacific Cross plan or something like that. Like Pacific Cross peso plan with 30,000 insurance. It works, and it has the access card that pays the hospital direct if you go to their hospitals. So, and they get some good hospitals. Actually, De La Salle University Hospital here, they take Pacific Cross access cards. Let's see. Wong says, Steve, can your wife get your SS when you die? Or do you have to marry her in America? She has to be over in the U.S. for a certain amount of time, from what I understand. Okay, I haven't really looked into that yet. I'm not really married yet, but we're talking about getting married at some point here. So it's probably going to happen, but I'll stay over here. I won't take her back to the U.S. We may go over there just to visit or something. That's about it. And Gabriel says, good day. Van Turner says, Tom Pear, was that the effect or the smoke bud? Let's see. Smoky Mountain Modeler says, Medicare over there would be a game changer. Absolutely. Smoky Mountain Modeler, be looking for that story tomorrow. I'm going to talk a little bit about it, and I'm going to post it. Okay, it might not be a long vlog, but it's going to be an important vlog. And maybe if all of us wrote in, and we have 10,500 people on here, if we wrote into, senators and congressmen back home to try to do something about it, maybe they will. But it does say that they're looking into it, if I recall correctly. I just got it just before I came on here, so I didn't have a chance to really study it that much. So I wish I could tell you more on here, but I just can't. I don't want to give you the wrong info or anything. Let's see. Furman says, follow the money is reason they said people died from COVID. It kind of seems that way. It does seem that way. There's something funky going on. It's still going on today, even today. I mean, even in the Philippines, they're still pushing the shots, and I'm still not planning on getting my shot. I put in for it just in case I change my mind, but I don't think I'm going to go. Vance Turner says, hey, young guys dying in motorcycle accidents went down as COVID-19. It's actually a drowning in Lawrence, Massachusetts, or some other town around Lawrence, Massachusetts. They said it went down as COVID related, and car accidents too. That's strange. It's really weird, And Furman says, yes, it's fraud. And Richard Meadows says, message retracted. I don't know what. Robert Carter, moped car, good idea over there. I don't use mopeds, and I wouldn't use a car or a motorcycle over here for the life of me. That's just me, Robert. I mean, just for safety's sake. People over here drive like nuts. And I'm just telling you the truth. I mean, I'm happy using public transportation. It works out great for me, and I'm happy I use it. Let's see, we got 64 people, 33 thumbs up. Let's see, and then USA to Philippines life. Good evening to you there, Steve. How you doing, USA to Philippines? Van Turner, for Sawa to get SS, I think she has to be in America for at least 6 months. I think so, or something like that. I'm not sure of the rules. I know she has to be in the U.S., and I think you have to probably petition for her to go there for a while or something like that too. So she's probably going to have to go there and get her green card and all that stuff. So, you best not to probably go back there. Smoky Mountain Modeler, I'll scan the web for more info. Unless you want to get your wife money or something. My girlfriend will get plenty of money when I pass away. She gets an insurance policy. So, Smoky Mountain Modeler says, I'll scan the web for more info. Let's see. Brian Sherry says, I believe your wife must live in the U.S. for at least 5 years to receive your Social Security. I think that's more correct, yeah. I haven't really looked into that much, so I'm not really that up on that. And if you have kids or something, that's different. I'm not sure how that works either. So if you have kids over here, it raises your money. Once you register your kid at the embassy, because one of the guys here registered his kid, and he got a lot of money. He started getting a lot of money. So it brings it up. USA to Philippines life. Yeah, if you get married, to bring your wife to the States. LOL. Let's see. Scott Torres says, I've heard that only 6% died as well from actual COVID. Everybody else was labeled COVID that had nothing to do with COVID. Makes you wonder what's going on. Yeah, Scott. So you're reading the same thing I'm seeing then, because that news is getting out now, and it's kind of funny that the news didn't cover that before. But that's typical nowadays in today's world. There's something really strange going on in the world for sure. And I don't know what it is, but it makes me even worry more about these shots and stuff like that and what's going on. Let's see, JC in the USA. How far are you from Manila or Cebu? I'm about an hour and a half ride from Manila. Okay, I don't know how many miles I am. Probably about 25 miles if I was to guess. It's about an hour and a half in traffic. If there's no traffic, probably about an hour I can be there. It's not that far at all. Cebu's like south of here. So that's an airplane ride. That's different. William Washington says, thanks for all the information you put out. It's very helpful. No problem, William. Let's see. Wong says, if you marry her in America, she becomes an American citizen. It takes a while, though. It's not immediate, Wong. That's not totally true that if you marry her right away, she becomes a citizen. That's not true. It takes a while. Because I married a Filipino before, and we're divorced now, obviously. But, I mean, she didn't become a citizen for a while. It took a while. I'm not sure how long it took. I can't remember. It was a long time ago. Abdul Rauf says, hi, Steve. Best regards from Saudi Arabia. Can you talk about how is it safe living in... I think you mean safe. You said safe. Living in the Philippines. Yeah, it's safe here. As safe as you take care of yourself. And, like I said, I wouldn't drive over here. I'd take public transportation. I'm happy taking public transportation. I actually have fun taking public transportation. It's not good on my back, when I jump into like a tricycle or something, because you have to crouch over in most of them. But some of them are taller than others. But yeah, it's. I mean, I've seen a person get killed in the tricycle too, though, right next to me. So it can be dangerous. It can be, But other than that, like if you're talking about safety, like getting robbed or held up or something like that, or murdered, I don't see that much crime around me. I got to be honest with you, but that depends where you live too. I mean, here in Tracy Martirez, it's pretty safe as far as for most of the people that live here. The only people that I've seen that get murdered are the politicians. And, it's kind of sad to say that because one of my friends is a politician. He actually got murdered over here, and he was a really good guy too. He was actually my neighbor. So that's the only person that I've heard murdered here in the city. I know there's been others before I came, but they were all politicians. Yeah. So let's see. The Philippine Info, this is Blue Fate. Philippine Info Channel, what is considered beauty for men there? I heard it's clean shaven, short hair. You're talking about most of the guys over here, they have short hair, they military cuts and stuff like that. But different people have different styles. The younger generation here has some weird haircuts, if that's what you're talking about. Robert Carter says, dollar went up a little, exchange rate. That's good to hear, Robert. Let's keep our fingers crossed. I mean, I heard it's going to go down, but let's hope. I think things are going to change, though, like in the fall. That's what I'm hearing. I hear people are going to start getting back into tech stocks. That's why I push the tech stocks and ARK investments. And I'm still going to push those. People tell me not to, but I think within 10 years, those will boom in a big way. I'm big on ARK investments, the ETFs. See, Robert Dyer says, wifey and I are moving there next year, starting to sell the house and downsize next month. That's what I did. It's tough going through that, Robert, See, Richard Meadows says 48-1. That's good news. Let's hope it goes back to 53. Brian Sherry says, it raises your Social Security 40% for each child, max 2 children. Yeah, I know it's a lot, because one of the guys here did it, and his income went way up just by having a kid. And over here, that money, man, if it's 40% extra and you're making $2,000 or something like that, that's a big amount of money. Let's see, Blue Faith Van Turner. Yeah, I also want to look my best. Let's see, Sal Philly says, hi, Steve. Do you need a will in the Philippines? You should have one. Yes, you should have one. You don't actually need one if you fill out proper paperwork and stuff. Like, you can get around it if you do like I have SBLI life insurance, and I put my girlfriend's name on there, so she'll get that. And I asked them if they could do it with the Philippines. Could they pay somebody in the Philippines? They said absolutely. So I don't worry about that. But yeah, I'm gonna do a will eventually, so she can get me buried properly and stuff if something ever happened to me, God forbid. Brian Sherry says, I agree. The trike is satisfactory for local travel. Yeah, most of the time it's safe. If you stay away from traffic times, like when people get out of work and in the morning, it's pretty safe. But that accident, that happened during heavy traffic. So that's why you'd want to stay off the roads during those times, because that's when things happen. People lose. Somebody got ticked off waiting in traffic, went around, and then crushed the poor guy. And I saw the guy. I saw the guy die. I saw the moment of impact, and it wasn't pretty. You know. Reginald Graham says, in your opinion, when do you think the Philippines will open up? I think probably they're working on it now. I think they want to roll it out and not have any mistakes in it. You know, and I think we'll probably see something maybe by the end of this month. Not the end of this month, but the end of next month. Before the end of next month, almost for sure. I'm sure. I'm kind of surprised actually that we didn't have something already, because I thought we'd have something either this week or last week that we'd hear something. But I think we're going to see something soon. They really want to open up. The government does want to open up. They need the money. They need the tourist money. So they will open up to vaccinated people at some point. The question is the quarantine, whether those people will be quarantined or not. I don't think that they will. Maybe they'll have a 3-day quarantine or something like that, but I don't think they're gonna go down on that 7-day quarantine or something. I think, but I'm not sure. You know, maybe they will still have the 7-day quarantine. Let's see. Wen says, "Can I own a firearm in the PI?" No. Nope. Absolutely not. They don't let you. Rob Mar 40. I see many SS retirement age expats living in the PH, raising young kids. What are your thoughts on this? You know, I mean, that's up to them. You know what I mean? I have an adopted little boy here, and he's like 10 years old. I mean, I'm 58 though, so you know, he'll be of age, and I'll still be alive. So and then I have my girlfriend's daughter, who I consider like my daughter, and she's like 19 years old now, and she's going to college and everything, and you know, I mean, people over here have kids. It works out for some people. I wouldn't recommend having kids in your 70s, you know, because you're not going to be around for them unless you leave some money for them and leave some serious money. You know, that's my thoughts on it, you know. Let's see. William Washington. Steve, I really like the Mactown area. I've been there 2 times. What do you think about retiring in that area? I don't know. I don't know that much about that area, to be honest with you, you know. So I really, you know, couldn't tell you too much about that area because I haven't been there. You know, let's see. Mr. Steel Palm says, I like ARC K too. Actually, I got in all of them except for the ISRL, there, Steel Palm. That's the only ARC investment account that I'm not in, the Israel one. Only because it's too volatile there. Otherwise, I'd like it. If it wasn't that volatile in Israel, I would invest there. Craig Jordan says, good morning, good evening to all. Amphib Av says, did you stay in Manila overnight when you made those recent videos? Are you going to make a video on Intramuros the next time you go there? Amphib, yes. I'm probably going to go there. There's a good chance I might go to that place that you told me about. So I might check that out. You know, I've heard about that place before, but I'm not totally sure whether I will go there or not. I want to do some more of the side streets where I was, and I'm probably going to do that soon. I think another video is coming up tonight. I think the last in the series maybe that I did. I'm not sure, you know, but you'll see them. You'll see them coming up. I also have some from Das Marinas. I have some jeepney rides, things like that coming up. I think all the way till July 2nd, I have an extra video added along with my usual video. Okay. Actually, today we had 3 videos. Okay, let's see. Because we had the 2 talk videos I did on food, pancakes, and I also talked about black rice. That's what I talked about. Not that we're running out of subjects. I just want to cover some things that, you know, we should be covering. You know, so sometimes I'll break off the usual subjects and go on to stuff like that. You know, and sometimes people get bored with some of the subjects because, you know, we're waiting. We're all in waiting, and usually when things are moving, we have tons to talk about. And right now, with stuff closed, it's kind of tough to talk about certain subjects. You know. Let's see, we're up to 79 and 45 thumbs up. Thanks, guys. Let's see, Tom Pierce says, when I tell my friends, oh, and Fib, I meant to answer your question about did I stay overnight? No, I did not. I didn't stay overnight. Okay, I take the bus up there and I come back in the afternoon. It's not a long ride. Tom Pierce says, when I tell my friends I'm leaving USA, they say I'm crazy. The older guys say they wish they had gone long ago, but this is too late for them now. Yeah, you know, I mean, there's a lot of people. I have friends that are thinking about coming over here. I have a lot of friends back home now that are talking to me about leaving now. A lot of them, which is unusual because they were saying I was crazy before. Now they all want to come over here because of the way the U.S. is going. So it's a lot of movement over there. See, Anna says, "Hi, Steve. How you doing, Anna?" Wen says, "Do you think they would ever decriminalize weed or legalize it, at least for medical purposes?" You know, when I've heard it talked about here, but it usually dies really quick. So I don't see it moving anytime soon. No, probably not within the next 5 to 10 years. I don't think so. Rob Mar 40 says, "You only need a will in the PH if you have assets in the PH. You should have one for the PH and one for your home country." You're right. You should. If you have anything, I don't have anything back in my home country, except some accounts there, which I have people to take care of that when I pass away anyway. It's in certain names. So, see, Van Turner says, "Per pair, they told me that, but I love it here." Van Turner also says, "When I think you can medical here, but lots of loops to jump through." I don't think that's true, that you can get medical marijuana here. I heard you can't. Robert Dyer says, "If people are vaccinated, they shouldn't have to be quarantined if they test negative." You're right, but you know, unfortunately, that's the government. You know, Zane Underwood says, "Steve, enjoying the live stream as usual here in the Pacific Northwest. We're looking at temperatures of 140." I heard that, man. Like you guys, even up in like where you are up in Canada, it's like I think you're up in Canada, right? I heard that they're getting really crazy temperatures up there, amazing temperatures, like 20 to 40 degrees over the norm. Let's see, all-time record. Was that where you are? Is in Oregon? Okay. I heard that even in Canada, in British Columbia, it's like, I saw the map, and the map is crazy. It's crazy hot all over there. Say USA to Philippines life, it's one thing to open, but they need to shorten that quarantine. I think they will. I think once they realize that you have a vaccine, I don't think they'll keep up that quarantine stuff anymore. That's just my thoughts, but I could be wrong. I hope I'm right. Mrs. Steel Pump says, "Just monitor the monthly vaccination numbers. Afraid to put a girlfriend or wife on a life insurance policy. She might have me rubbed out. Haha." No, I don't think they will. That has happened here, but it's very rare. Greg Wiley, it happens in the United States too, so you can't just say it's a Philippine thing, you know what I mean? So you can't really go stereotype that one because it actually happens quite a lot in the U.S. Gregory Wiley says, "Good evening from Cebu City." How you doing, Greg? Rich Meadows says, "I'm 59 and my girlfriend had 2 sons, 1 3, 1 just turned 1. That's cool, man. Let's see. Anna says, "COVID is real. It's science. Vaccine keeps people from getting really sick and getting on a ventilator or passing it to others that are immunocompromised." Yeah, Anna, they just said the CDC say something, talk about that, and they said that of all the people that died from supposed COVID in the United States, only 6% died from actual COVID, because the doctors were labeling everybody, even if they died from cancer or heart attack, they were labeling it as COVID related, which it wasn't. So it's a lot less people now than what we think. So all those people that we heard, all those high numbers, it's really only 6% of that. See, Glenn B, I'm not saying it's not real. It's a real thing, but it's not as bad as they made it out to be. You know, that's according to the CDC itself. And even the news is saying that today. Glenn B says, "Hey, Steve and chat from Saskatchewan, Canada." How you doing, Glenn? Anna says, "U.S. deaths and infections are 80% down due to the vaccine." It's also down because they're not doing the swabs, which were 20% false positives too. That's what they said. CalPERS, Teamsters, SSI at 62 or later, not sure. Well over 100K in bank. VA, hopefully. I'll be set for a while there. Turning 59 next month and in decent shape for my age. You sound like you're pretty good. Let's see, SSI, 62. Let's see. 100K in the bank. It's a good start. I mean, if you follow my directions and stuff like that, and you listen to what I've said in my videos about pensions and stuff like that, you'll be good as long as you have some sort of insurance here, or you're self-insured. You know. Brian Sherry says, "How far is Das Marinas from your apartment? What is the travel time?" Travel time is about, I was there today. I was at the SM Mall at Das Marinas. I don't know. It's probably like when there's little traffic, maybe a half an hour, something like that. It's not that far. If you take a car, it's faster. It's about a half an hour though, probably roughly. Michael L says Anna is right. I clocked way too much overtime in 2020 due to coworkers getting COVID-19. I'm not saying it's not real. I'm just saying, I'm just saying what the CDC said today. I'm just repeating what they said. I know it's real. I've had friends back home, that died from it and stuff like that. Actually, I think it was like 47 people died in elderly housing or something like that back home in Massachusetts, or one of the nursing homes or something like that back in my town. So, how far am I from the beach? Frank says. About a half an hour ride, something like that. About a half an hour to the beach, but it's not. Those aren't great beaches. But if I go to Batangas, it's a little bit further away. A little bit. It's like about an hour and a half or 2 hours or something. It's longer than that, I think. Because we usually go to Batangas. I usually sleep on the way there. So I don't really pay attention to the time. Since I get over here, I don't pay much attention to time for some reason. Time is like irrelevant to me. So, Steve, what do you not miss about the USA? The people. Some of the people in Massachusetts were hard to get along with because of the politics stuff. They were so stuck on politics, man. It was getting disgusting. I got so tired of the political crap going on back there. But that's just my feelings. But I'm getting that from a lot of people back home too. I have people contacting me, friends of mine, that saying that they're thinking about coming over here now because of the politics back there and the things that are going on with the government. They're worried. A lot of people are worried. George Fair says, good morning from Toledo. How you doing, George? Michael says, THC will stay illegal for as long as Duterte's party has influence. Oh, you're right. Mark Krampitz says, Portland, 113 for sub day. Let's see. Van Turner says, Underwood, welcome to another day in Texas. Mark Krampitz is Sunday. Richard says, needs to stay illegal anyway. Let's see. Mr. Steel Palm says, I set up a living trust in the U.S. May need one for the Philippines if I buy anything there. Yeah, probably. You can't buy property here, though, but you can buy a condo. Let's see. Glenn says, mid-30s C next 10 days here in Canada. Yeah, I heard that. I watch a guy there, Steve Wallace. He does like stealth camping, they call it, and he bought a bus up there, and he's quite a good vlogger. He's kind of interesting. He camps all over the place. He camps in places where most people shouldn't be camping, but it's kind of fun watching him. Anna says, yeah, going to be hot the next 3 days. I live up here in Oregon. Let's see. USA to Philippines life. Hot summer North America for sure. We're heading into the third heat wave, New York City metro, and it's not even July yet. Yeah, you guys are getting like slammed there by heat waves, man. I'm glad I live here in the 90s. I mean, jeepers, if you guys are like 20 and 30 degrees warmer than we are, it seems like lately. I mean, 110, 118, that's way above what we're at. You guys are like, some of you guys are 28 degrees hotter than we are. Let's see. Anna, have another drink of the Kool-Aid, Van says. I guess he's talking about the COVID stuff. But Zane Underwood. Let's see. Van Turner. Richard Meadows says, only thing I missed about the U.S. was riding my bike. Yeah, here it's hard to ride a bike, man. We have a park nearby, but it's not the same thing riding in a park going around in circles as it is riding on the streets and stuff. You're right. Let's see. Craig Jordan says, here in California, persons dying from traffic accidents who were found to have COVID were counted as death by COVID. Yeah, I've heard that already. We were just talking about that earlier. Amphiv says, Steve, do you give temperatures there along with the heat index? We had 90 degree Fahrenheit here today in Houston, and it showed the heat index, or feels like temperature, at 102. And boy, it was hot. When usually we say 90 here, it's usually like 104 with the heat index or whatever, like the feels like temperature or whatever. I think that's what you're talking about. But yeah, it's always way hotter when you look at that. Because I see that on there with the humidity and stuff. It's like 108 or 104 or something like that. It's hot. The humidity is what kills you here. During the dry season, it's not as bad. Wen says, I think the laws are so insane with all the with all that tropical weather. I would be growing trees. I'm in La Cali. God, it's so legal here. L.A. Cali. Let's see. Anna, info you get from SO CDC is conspiracy. The CDC is, pretty accurate. That's the Center for Disease Control. So you can't get any more accurate than that, So I don't this, they're the ones who come out and was telling us all this stuff was all terrible in the beginning, and now all of a sudden the truth is starting to come out. It's kind of weird, But I like to stay off that subject. It's nothing we can do about it. You know what I mean? So nothing we can do to change it. So why argue about it? Robert Dyer says the government set up to create phony C-19 numbers by shutting down the medical industry for months and opening back up, giving 15 times the amount of money for a C-19 case or death. What's a Hammer First says, I know nobody personally who died of actual COVID. I do. I know that a nursing home in Lawrence, and also I also know people at the Chelsea Soldiers Home. That's where my father was, and he died there, but he didn't die from COVID. He died a long time ago. But a lot of people died there from COVID. That's for sure. They all got it, and they were all older people, so they didn't do well. Michael, IDU30 supports medical. DU30 is a joke, Richard says. Steel Palm says, California is terrible. USA to Philippines life. I won't miss people here in the USA when I leave. Politics are crazy. I agree with you, man. USA to Philippines life. I mean, that's one of the main reasons why I left Massachusetts, because the politics. Whether they were on the right or on the left, it just got sickening. If you couldn't be in the middle. You couldn't. They hated you. If you didn't agree with them, people started hating you, even your friends. It was getting so divisive. I just said, I got to get out of here. Manila Martin says, hello from Manila. I enjoy all the great advice you give. Thanks, Martin. I appreciate that. Glenn B says, political theater here in Canada is incredible too, Steve. Population calling it Chanada. Yeah, it's getting crazy. I think like the United States is really getting weird. It has a weird vibe to it. I just hope that something doesn't happen there and it collapses or something like that. God forbid, you know what I mean? I hope not. I mean, our government's really out of control, and some countries are laughing at it, saying we're a third world country now. George Fair says, I only took the vaccine so I could visit my girlfriend in Mindanao as soon as I can. Let's hope you can, George. Let's hope you can, man. What's a Hammer First says, as soon as DU30 figures out THC is the same thing as marijuana, he would be against it. Let's see. Jack Ribbon says, hello, Steve. Good to see you. Frank T says, will you consider moving to a different island? If so, which one? If I was to move, Frank, I'd probably go to, if they had better medical there, I would move to Palawan. But I heard that Mindoro is nice too. But I want to go out to Mindoro. I was invited out to Mindoro, and, when the guy gets it done, he says he's going to invite me again. So we'll see what happens. Zane Underwood says, I know that guy, Stevie's a stealth camper. He's got that old short school bus, which is fun. He camps in the strangest places. Yeah, Zane, he's pretty cool. He's fun to watch. It's a good show, isn't it? I love that show. Foresty Forest is good too. And there's another guy, Van Life or something like that. He's good too. What's the other one? Wonder Hussy. Wonder Hussy is good too, but she gets a little bit off track a little bit. But when she's doing her stuff, she's doing good. And Doug says Steve Wallace is interesting. Yes, he is. I love Steve Wallace. There's a lot of good shows here, guys. When you come over here and you want to have a taste of home, there's so many vlogs out there, and some of those van ones are pretty interesting, and they have beautiful. Foresty Forest has some beautiful camera work that he does up in the mountains and stuff like that. So if you like Steve Wallace, watch Foresty Forest. He actually meets up with Steve Wallace in a few of his videos. Let's see, along with Van City Van Life too. Robert Dyer says, but is it a dry heat? LOL. Yes, it is. During the dry season, it's semi-dry. It's not as dry as like out in the desert or something like that. Tom Pierce says, in the Philippines, do you need to smoke pot to escape reality? Because the Philippines gives you a natural high that does not wear off. You don't need to smoke pot here, man. You know, I never had to smoke pot and never wanted to smoke pot. You know, I just never had that feel for it. I mean, when I was younger, I tried it, I think, once or twice, and that was about it. You know, but I've never been into drugs or anything like that. I don't. I'm lucky. You know, when I was younger, I used to drink a little bit, but I mean, now I have like I bought 4 beers the other day, and it'll probably last me like a month or two. So, Charles W says hot in Boracay today, and Sal Philly says hello again, Steve. Can you explain the difference of being able to buy a condo but not property? Well, they'll let you buy a condo here because the property does not belong to you, but the condo will. You know, and once the condo gets knocked down, you no longer have a condo. Just think of it that way. You know, so the condo you would own, but if they decide to knock down that building, you no longer have a condo. So that's the thing behind the condo. Okay. Ethan says no need to be worried about the U.S. I don't think we will ever have armed guards everywhere and enforcement and police checkpoints stopping you to check. No, if anything, they'll defund the police departments and have no police anywhere, and it'll be just the opposite, Ethan. You know, because that's what they're talking about over there is defunding everything. You know, and that's craziness. Rob Mar 40 says, I mean, I used to work doing, you know, school safety for the school department, and they were, you know, there were times where they were talking about defunding them a few times or having cutbacks and stuff, you know, and that would be crazy in the school department in an inner city. Rob Mar 40 says, in the latest CDC report, COVID-19 was third leading cause of death in the USA in 2020. Number one, heart disease, 690K. Number two, cancer, 598. Third was COVID for 345K. Let's see. And what's a Hammerfur says, who smokes pot to escape reality? Let's see. Mark Crampet says, my daughter is a nurse. 85% of heart attack patients tested positive for COVID. So if they died, COVID deaths. Let's see. Michael L. Even Arctic Circle towns like, and he names some, I can't even pronounce it, someplace up in Russia, must be way up in Russia, recently hit upper 90s Fahrenheit. That's crazy, man, that's happening. You know, I mean, we think we got it hot down here. I mean, you guys got it way worse even in Canada. You know, that's unusual. Ethan says, as far as political discussion and getting along with people, just stay off the subject with friends. That's kind of hard, though, Ethan. When I was in the school department, it was really, really hard. People would nag you to try to find out who you were voting for and what your political affiliation was. I get tired of it after a while. See, Brian Dawson says, hi, Steve. Here in the UK during April and May, they ran 10 test events, both indoors and outdoors, with 58,000 people attending in total, and later only 28 of those tested positive for COVID. Interesting. It's an interesting. Craig Jordan says, the worst in the Philippine weather for me was the high humidity at night. Yeah, you're right. You know, you got to be able to sleep. It's hard to sleep even with a fan on you. I remember when I came here, we didn't have AC in the house yet. But we put it in really quick, let me tell you. Let's see. Van says, when go north of Baguio to the Kalinga tribe for that, look up Wang Odd, go to that area for good 420. Yeah. I'm okay, Van. I'm not into that stuff, man. Jack Redmond, it shows 85 on live chat. I got 92 here. So I got 92 people, 65 thumbs up. Thanks, guys. Let's see. Jersey in the Philippines says, hi, Steve. What do you think about the Philippines? Will they make the vaccine mandatory? No, I don't think they will. Somebody told me that's against international law to force people to get vaccines. So, I mean, I know that the government here is kind of funky about stuff like that, and they don't really listen to people from the outside. But I don't think so. There's a lot of, when I went to the mall the other day, if you watch that mall video I did the other day, it actually shows people up getting their shots, and there's hardly anybody there, and they expected that place to be packed. Watch it. Watch the mall video I showed. It's like 3 or 4 days back or something like that, maybe 5 days ago or something. But watch the mall video, the upstairs of the mall, and it's right where the cinema is, and it starts off right there, so you'll see it right away. Okay, and did it start out there? I think I started out there. I can't remember. Anyway, if you watch that video, you'll see it. Let's see. Frank says, did you hear the Florida condo complex collapsing? I did. It's sad to hear, man. I heard they pulled a boy out alive, though. Colin Cressa says, I stay in Calapan. Let's see. OB says, hello from Alaska. How you doing, OB? Craig Jordan, Steve, do you know the best sources where travelers can find promos on Philippine domestic flights? I heard like some of the Cebu, I think, was it Cebu Airlines or something like that? I used to know all those airlines, but I haven't flew like in a while. But any of the Philippine domestic airlines, they always have sales, traveling even to other countries and stuff like that. And you can get some really good deals. But with this stuff going on right now, all that stuff is like on hold. Even deals. There's nothing advertised here. I used to see advertisements all the time. I think it was Cebu Airlines, but I could be wrong. Alec Mochia, when they have legalized weed for medical purposes in some places. I don't know if that's true here I know it is in the U.S., but I don't think it is in the Philippines, man. Not that I've heard of. I mean, I'm not up on that stuff either, so. Sal Philly says, 93 people watching, only 61 thumbs up. 71 thumbs up. Thanks, guys. Let's see. Doug says, I am high on life. Same here, Doug. That's the good way to be, man. Blue Fate says, the Philippine Info Channel, what should one test out in the Philippines to see if it's right for them? What should one test out in the Philippines to see if it's right for them? Well, you should come over here and at least stay here for like a month or something, Blue Fate, before you come over here, because you might not like it. You being younger might not like it at all, because it's not the place for everybody, because the infrastructure here is a lot different. It's what you make of it, and you have to have money. And being as young as you are, I wouldn't recommend you come over here. I would save like crazy for the next 20 years if you're in your 20s, and retire in 20 years. Because you could save like crazy, man. If you live right. Stay home or something like that. Ask your parents if you can rent a room or something like that, Just work like crazy. Let's see, the condo complex must be 60% Filipino owned. I don't know why he says that, but Blue Fate says, Doug, how do you do it? Let's see, Robert Dyer, I think the only way you can get Philippine property is if you inherit it. I'm not even sure that that's true, because if you're an American, you can't own it. I'm not sure, but I don't know that much about inheriting over here. Let's see, David C. Steve, hello from Yorktown, Virginia. How you doing, David? R.S. Chavez says, hit that thumbs up button, guys. Let's see, we're up to 75 thumbs up. That's good. We have a lot of people that come in and out during these live streams. It's kind of interesting, because I was looking to see how many people watch. We have a lot of people that go in and out. Some people keep us on, they just listen to us. Zane Underwood, I think Thailand will be the first Southeast Asian country to adopt a medical cannabis program. So all you cannabis heads, keep an eye on Thailand. I heard Belize is working on that too, but I don't know if they've done it yet. But there is talk in Belize that they're going to open that up. OB says they increase funding for police with unused COVID money. I would hope so. Ernest Cornell says, defund the police, then call 911. Sorry, the police department is unavailable. You can handle your call right now. Good luck. It's probably the way it's going to be soon. Mark Crampett says, I work for the city of Portland, Oregon. You can imagine what the politics is here. Oh, I can imagine. Some places are crazy, man. They won't even allow the Pledge of Allegiance. Let's see. Tagaytay Van says, Tagaytay, you don't need AC. No, you don't. Not at night. In the day, you do. It gets a little hot there. It's still cooler, though, even during the day with a nice wind. Simon Collins says, I like your channel a lot. A lot of good info. Hate to say it, though. Apart from the females in the Philippines, I had one for 7 years, and I lived there for a few years. It is okay for a holiday, but third world. Yes, it is. But, the Philippines is what you make of it. I mean, I love my house here. My house is a very comfortable house. I have, I live very comfortable here. We have AC. It's good. It's a good life here. And I live in a place in town where it's kind of secluded and, almost jungle-like. I mean, I can walk down back here and go swimming in the lake, not lake, river down back. I've actually got videos showing down back too, if you want to see that. I mean, a lot of you guys don't know. We have 500 videos now. We've put out 500 videos. So you guys should check some of my older videos. If you guys are new on here, go back to some of my older videos because there's a lot of good material on there that will help you guys. And there's a lot of little nuggets in there that I talk about with credit cards, stuff like that. I talk about that you put the credit card app on your phone. That helps you for over here so you can shut your credit card off. You can turn it off and on. Also, some banks allow you to turn off and on your debit cards and stuff like that. Just keep that in mind, guys. There's a lot of safeties for security over here and stuff. I just want to mention that. Well, I think I got like 100 people on here. There's some cool videos on there. We talk about all that stuff. I see Tom Perez says, do you have parent-teacher conferences there with your kids at school like you do here? Actually, with my little boy, I've talked to his teacher, and she talks to me on Facebook sometimes, because they do the modules here. Jersey in the Philippines says, hurrah, thanks, Steve. Let's see, USA to Philippines Life. Aircon is a must here in the Philippines for sleeping. I'm not a hot weather fan, but I get used to the heat and the humidity when I'm there. Yeah, here you definitely need some AC, at least in the bedroom, Mark, and then the fans in the rest of the room. Mark Crampet says, I did read that there is $50K lifetime benefit for overseas medical. I do not know the details. It could be the Medicare Advantage. There's something in there hidden away somewhere that I haven't been able to, because I'm not of the age to really worry about that yet. I'm 58. Pretty soon I'll have to start worrying about that stuff. But, I'm going to do that vlog tomorrow probably, and I'm going to talk about this thing about the Medicare a little bit, okay? Because that article it sounds like a game changer for people living in the Philippines. Because if they change that, man, to do worldwide, Medicare, that's going to be huge, and it'll save them a lot of money for people that are leaving the country too. Because a lot of people won't leave the country because of the Medicare. So that could be a game changer, guys. I mean, they're doing they're looking into it to see if it's worth it, and trust me, I think they're going to start changing it because it's going to save them money. David C. says, regarding the test, even in the UK, was this a random test including those vaccinated? What did the test prove? That the vaccine works, or the press is exaggerating the number of cases? I'm not really sure, man. I mean, somebody else was talking about that on here. Anna, Steve, politics is life. That's how we get safer streets, cleaner air, safer highways, Social Security, SSI, very good programs that are safety nets when people get old, disabled. Unfortunately, yeah, politics is part of life, but sometimes politics gets kind of hairy sometimes on both sides. And I consider myself kind of like a moderate, but I vote more on the Republican side, but I don't always side with everything that they say. I'm a person that believes in protecting wildlife and stuff like that. So I mean, some things I disagree with, some things I agree with. There's some things I agree with the Democrats. That's why I call myself kind of a moderate, so kind of an independent. But I do register Republican. I did, and now that I'm over here, I still vote over here. I still vote whenever the presidential elections come up. See, Anna, Orange man made politics very divisive. I don't like to call him that, man. It's not fair to people on the other side. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I didn't have any problems with him. Some people did. He wasn't the perfect president, no, but I mean, I'm not really particularly fond of this guy either. I mean, I haven't seen a decent president in a long time. So... John says, hey, Steve. South Philly says, hello again, Steve. I'm a huge football fan. Are you able to purchase the NFL package in the Philippines so fans can watch the games? I think you probably can. I'm not sure if you can get it through Apple TV or something. Apple TV has a lot of stuff on there, and there's a lot of other ways you can get stuff over here too. But there's ways of doing it. You just got to kind of research it. There's stuff over here you can do. Blue Fates is actually, South Philly, if you have a friend back home, and they have one of those TV packages. Some of the TV things you can put on your iPod and hook it up to your TV here, but you're gonna need a VPN. And as long as they subscribe to some of the cable things, you just download their app. You can get all the channels they have. Okay, if you have a friend that's willing to do that back home. Blue Fate says the Philippine Info Channel. Would I be bored to retire though? Yeah, you probably would being younger. You know what I mean? I'm not bored. I stay busy with between the vlog and a lot of other stuff. I don't. I mean, I do. Well, I do stocks and everything. I do research. You know, I'm on the computer a lot. I do a lot of walking. When I do walking, I'm working. I'm doing vlogs and stuff like that. When I go into Manila to have fun, I'm working also, doing the vlogs and you know, talking to people, making friends and stuff like that. I don't stop. I have fun. You know, it's not boring here by any means. See, Frank T says, do you use local milk or buy fresh dairy products? Where do you get your steaks? I get my steaks from Rare Foods in Manila. They'll ship them right out to your house, and they're very reasonable. You know, I think they're reasonable for over here anyway. They have delicious steaks coming from Australia and all over the world. Okay, so you can get them from the States, you can get them from Japan, you can get them from Australia. And you can get steaks also at S&R, and they're cheap there too. S&R is all over the country. It's almost like a Costco or, you know, that type of thing. USA to Philippines Life, Cebu Pacific, super cheap, but they charge for luggage, so you need to travel light or pay extra for bags. Yes, you do. Some of them are really cheap. Yes, I think that's Cebu Pacific. Maybe you're correct. I know it was Cebu something, and that was like 3 years before this COVID stuff started. They used to have advertisements all over the place. You could fly to like Singapore for like $75, and I think it was round trip. You know, see El Cap Cebu Islander Craig Jordan checks Cebu Pacific Airways and Air Asia for cheap domestic flights in the Philippines. Yeah, I don't know why those places aren't advertising much, because I used to see them all over the place, and nothing on airlines anymore. There's nothing. They just don't have the advertising budget, I guess. Ernest Connell says, Miami condo complex isn't good for the real estate market. Someone recently spent $33 million on a condo in that area. Whoops. Yeah. Robert Dyer says, refund the police. There we go. David C., there's now a Delta variant of COVID. Experts are thinking it has been out since spring last year. There are worries that the vaccine may be less effective against the spike virus of Delta. I think people are going to get burned out on this virus thing pretty soon, and it's just going to end. Because I don't think people can take much more of this. There was actually an article today talking about in 10 years that life is going to be much worse than it is now. And they didn't really go too much into details, but they talked a little bit about the politics and about all the stuff that's going on in the world today and the way people are heading into this mess rather than trying to head away from it. It was kind of funny the way what the guy was talking about, but he said in 10 years he thinks the world's going to be a total mess. I can't remember what newspaper it was or whatever, but I was reading the article today. It came through on Google, you know. And Zura says, "Hi Stephen, I heard in the news here that your government will prison anyone who resists getting the vaccine. Is that true?" Nope, it's not true yet. You know, he didn't say prison. I think he said that he will fine anybody that doesn't take the vaccine. But that would have to pass through a lot of people, and I don't think you can do that because of international law. I heard international law, you cannot force people to take vaccines. That's what I heard. That was from a subscriber, and I heard that from another subscriber after that too. So I didn't verify that, so don't quote me on that. Zane Underwood says, you live in a beautiful area, Steve. I like when you walk around the neighborhood. I'm checking everything out. It's really cool. My neighborhood has 4 new apartments right down the street that are going to be going up really soon, and they'd be great places for expats to live around here because there's so much around here. And the best part about it is you walk out your front door almost, and you can catch a jeepney to Dasma. You walk a couple feet further down the street here, and you can get a bus to Manila. If you go to the Dasma Mall, the SM Dasma, they will drop you off basically right in front of your house if you live on this street. When you come back and when you go, they'll pick you up here. You know, Mike Voltage says, Steve, when you refer to Dasma, is that the same as Das Marinas? Yes. I'm sorry if that's just a habit because we call it Dasma for short. Robert Angel, great info on your channel. Will be there in 2023. Just ordered 2 copies of my long form birth certificate for my SRRV. Wondering if New York City police report is enough. Yes, should be. Should be enough, yes. Robert, you may want to contact Mary Rose of all the stuff that you need, because I'm not sure if you need your birth certificate, because they're gonna take a copy of your passport, but you might need it. It's good to take that over here anyway. I did the same thing. I took 2 copies. I don't remember them taking birth certificate copy though, but maybe they do. But anyhow, Robert, if you need any information, you can email me first, and I can send you Mary Rose's information. So if you want to start with that, contact me at Steven5975 at yahoo.com. Okay, and I can send you all her information. She don't charge. Okay, she gets paid by the PRA, because if you start the process with the PRA, you don't get as much assistance. And once you start with them, you can't start with the agent. So that kind of messes things up for you. That's why I tell people to use her. Some of the agents charge $1,000 plus they still get paid by the PRA. She only accepts the money from the PRA because it's like overkill. Because some of those people make $1,500 on one person, and they only work with them for a few days. So just FYI, if you need help with that, let me know. David C says, yes, your place seems very nice and quiet. I don't recall hearing roosters, or if there was any. We ate all the roosters. Seriously. My girlfriend trapped them all. We ate them. Because I got so tired of the roosters out here. I told her, and she says, okay, I'll trap them. So she put rice out there on the ground, and she put a thing that we put the plastic bottles in, like a net thing, and trapped them all. And actually, the people next door that had them all said there was wild ones down back, so that was fine. We didn't do anything illegal or anything like that. Value Travel says, hi, Steve. It's discouraging to hear that people are not interested in getting vaccinated. I think this will result in prolonged lockdown. Unfortunately, yes, you're right on that. I'm kind of afraid of getting vaccinated too after hearing the things I've heard. I mean, most of my friends and relatives back home didn't get vaccinated, for many reasons, Even my doctor, one of my doctors back home, he says he didn't get it. Manila Martin, I know most expats just come here for women, but if they learn the local language, they can meet great guys too and join the culture, which is nice. Yeah, I have a lot of friends here, Martin. I have a lot of friends over here. I don't speak Tagalog though, and they all speak English. Amphibab says, Steve, Saipan is the same latitude as Luzon, was noticeably not as hot as Manila. Manila has been urban heat. I did see a nice rain shower that cooled things down, blowing in from Manila Bay. Yeah, Manila's kind of funky there. The other day when I was there, it wasn't really hot. Frank T says, does your town get hit by the annual typhoons? Yeah, we get typhoons here. How far are you from an active volcano? We're close to Tagaytay. We're close to Taal volcano. We actually got dusted by that when the volcano went off, and we could see it from here. I actually have some footage. Frank T, if you go back in my videos, I have video footage from a distance. Okay, I was filming it as it erupted when we heard the news. Okay, and we could see we were actually getting dusted in the vehicle while we were driving along. It was like black ash coming down as it was raining. David C says you also need to run AC once in a while to keep humidity down in the house, ruins clothes, etc., and hold black mold at bay. Yes, you're right. It helps to have AC here. Zane Underwood, I know it's hard, but I'd love to keep politics out of chat rooms, but with Americans it seems to be impossible. Just saying. Yeah, Zane, I'm the same way, man. I'm not big on politics, but people do bring it up. I'm not even going to say this next comment from Van. I just want to keep off the politics stuff. I just not my favorite subject. Blue Fate, the Philippine Info Channel. How do I retire in 20 years? Doesn't money depreciate? Invest it. Stocks, real estate. Real estate's kind of high right now. I wouldn't recommend that. I'd get into stocks, but I'm not going to tell you how to, what stocks to get into. I do tech stocks right now because I think in 20 years tech will be really, really the big thing. But that's me. I do ARK Investments. Blue Fate. You look up Kathy Wood. Kathy Wood is with a C. Okay? Cathie. Kathy Wood online. You start reading about her, and then you'll know why I choose her stocks, her ETFs. Mike Voltage. I have a lot of friends in Das Marinas, and that's where I'm leaning to retire. My girlfriend already has a rent to own townhome there. Yeah, I have. Mike, I have videos coming up at Das Marinas, and I think I did some the other day. I'm not sure. I have so many videos on there right now that I have popping up at 4 a.m. in the morning over here. They go on, and that's 4 o'clock in the afternoon Eastern Standard Time back in the United States. But check it out, because I did some in Das Marinas the other day. I got more coming on in Das Marinas, so you'll be seeing it. And I got, I think I got more. Is it more Manila videos? I got more Manila videos coming up pretty soon too, probably. All kinds of footage on the streets, and also a couple of jeepney rides. Okay, I know some of the things aren't as popular as others, but I put those on it because people enjoy them. They get to see what it's like around here a little bit. So I know some people can't stand that stuff, so that's why I put those on, and I put my regular vlog on. It just kind of helps people out. It's kind of fun. Someone told me the U.S. Let's see, this is USA to Philippines. Someone told me the U.S. was thinking about lowering the age from Medicare to 60. Great if they did. I didn't read that in that article though, but maybe that'd be great if they did do something like that. But Medicare is going broke. That's what that article just said. Matter of fact, it's like 2024, I think it said. But I didn't have much time to read it. I'll put it out there tomorrow. I'll read it, and you guys can hear it. Michael L. says politics is like fire. It can cook your meal, however, it can consume one's life. You're right, Michael. That's when I come over here, I try to stay away from that stuff, but people still bring it up while we're on here. It's not my favorite thing, believe it or not. I used to be a political junkie, but not anymore. I put all that junk behind me. Blue Fate transportation is so cheap and easy there that you can stay busy just exploring. That's true. Richard Meadows, Zane Underwood. You want to keep the out. You bring it in. Okay. Mr. Steel Palm, I'm not affiliated with any party. Just vote for balance. USA to Philippines life. Reagan was the last great president. I think you're right, because he represented both sides. He was actually good friends with Tip O'Neill from Massachusetts, and Tip O'Neill was a big, he was big lefty on the Democratic side, and Reagan and him got along fine. They used to sit and have a drink together and coffee, and sit down a lot, and they were good friends. Reagan was brought a lot of people together. People still talk about him. Some people talk about him like he's Donald Trump, and they hate him. But Reagan was great. He was a great president, whether you were a Democrat or a Republican, I think. But that's just my thoughts. But I don't want to get too much into politics on here. So we got 110, 83 thumbs up. Let's see. Here in the UK, this is Brian Dawson. Here in the UK this weekend, they have opened up vaccine hubs all over the country for any adult who wants a vaccine, and thousands are turning up. Yeah, it's different in each country. The Philippines had a problem here with the dengue vaccine, and a lot of people died, I heard. And that's why they're turned off by vaccines. So just FYI, that's why the Philippines is different. Let's see. Richard Meadows says, USA to Philippines life. You're right about that. Scott Torre, perspectives on the pandemic, blood clots, and beyond episode 15, journeyman pictures. I don't know how to link videos here, but check this one out on YouTube. YouTube, just saying. Blue Fate, try La Union area if you would enjoy it. Yeah, he might. That's actually a good idea for him, because he'd probably like that area, because it's a great place with great beaches and stuff like that. Let's see. I got lost here. Let me see. Where'd I go? Everything just shut down, so I got to go back and. So I'll start here with Let me see. I'm going to start here with Wally. Okay, so I'm going to skip a lot of people. I'm sorry, I just lost a whole bunch of people on here. I'm trying to. Wally364 says, I am trying to get my Filipina to get the vaccine, but the churches are pushing against it, saying God will protect them. I said to her, China gave us the virus, God gave us the vaccines. Um, yeah, I try to stay off that, man, because I'm on the fence about that. So I prefer to stay off of that subject, man. Dickie Spaz says, Steve, you got out in time. The woke culture is destroying this country from within. No joke. Not the same country. I agree. It's changed there, man. Ed Denoy says, CNN breaking. I read the news today about lucky man who made the grade. Okay. Robert Angel says, okay. Kaparn says, Brian, Sherry, all drugs are experimental until they have been tested on enough people. The vaccine have been tested on hundreds of millions of people now. So not really experimental anymore. David C. based on the 10 years, the world will be a mess. Yeah, that's what the article was saying I was talking about. Maybe those Y2K doomsday preppers will have their bunkers and supplies ready. There's been predictions for years of the world's end. We're still here. Man, who knows whether that's going to change the way things are going with this Chinese stuff. What's a hammer for us says, USA 2, you are correct. All vax here protect against Delta if you have 2 doses. Rob Mar 40 says, what are the documents that need to be apostilled for SRIV prior to leaving the U.S.? Rob, you need your pension papers done. You need to have your police papers done. And if you have a DD-214, that should be done. Rob, if you need help with that, contact me or contact the person that I talk about, Mary Rose Baranda. Or you can email me at Steven5975, and I will help you with get all the information that you need on the SRIV by contacting the lady agent that I have, and she's free. She gets paid out of your application fee. Some of the people here charge you $1,000 plus they get the money from your application fee too. So just be careful who you deal with. This lady won't charge you a nickel. So just remember that. Steven5975 at yahoo.com. Okay, Rob Mar. I'll be doing emails tomorrow. I did a whole bunch today. Alan Bozita says, thank you for the info. No problem, Alan. Frank T says, Steve, your area looks cleaner than many U.S. cities. It's pretty decent here, especially the park here. I love the park here. If there's a mess, it doesn't sit there very long before the city cleans it up here. That's one thing I can honestly say. They just repaved the streets here too. Michael, good solution. Eat all the roosters. Seriously, yeah, that's what we did. Nice tub and tile refinishing says, what's the cost of your internet service and electric bill running AC all the time? My electric for running the AC is about $70 a month because I put it on energy efficiency. So I put it on that and I set it at about 22 to 21 to 23, right in that range all the time. It goes up and down in that range, and it keeps it cool in the room. And I open the door to the room and it does the living room out here and the kitchen. Let's see. And for internet, that varies. I pay about $70 a month, but I have really good internet. Tom Pear, show us a picture of your rooster trap sometime. What it is, Tom, is it's just like it's just a net box kind of, and we just put like a stick and we pull the stick when the rooster goes under there, and that's how we catch them. It's like a net box to put plastic bottles in. That's all it is. You know, it's very easy. It's probably like 3 feet by 3 feet, something like that, by 3 feet, you know. So let's see. Mark Crampet says, I had the J&J one and done. That's the one that they're offering at the VA here, actually. Let's see. Advocate for Land of Chaos. Let's see. That's his name. To clarify about the condo ownership, foreigners can own a building, but not the dirt it sits on. You're right. You can lease it, but that's why condos are so much better. But yeah, you can do the leasing too. By the way, from Mass too, and moving here permanently as soon as COVID. That sounds good, man. We got a lot of people from Mass coming here. I've had probably about 50 people from Mass coming over here. We have a lot of nurses. We were talking about this at the beginning, that are getting ready to retire over in the U.S. All baby boomers that work at hospitals. And it's like 100 a day are retiring or more. And that's going to be part of that vlog story that I'm going to do tomorrow. and they're coming back to the Philippines, and that's why they're talking about giving Medicare to people in the Philippines and outside the country. So just be aware of that, guys. Things might be changing for the good for people in the Philippines. Let's see. Robert Angels, a fully vaccinated second dose, had side effect of sore muscles and exhaustion the next day. Just one day of discomfort. Eddie Munster says John McAfee lives. Not anymore. See, Dickie Spaz says YouTube medical professionals are in abundance today. Eddie Munster, John McAfee used to be in Belize actually when I was there, when I first started going to Belize. And he was actually on the island that I was on sometimes. He would visit Key Cocker sometimes. Dickie Spaz, let's see. Brian Sherry, Caparn, go to CDC's virus. Over 5,000 reported deaths in the U.S. thus far from the vaccine. Only 1 to 10% of Americans are aware or know how to report on CDC's VAERS. Yeah, I'm going to try to stay off the vaccine thing for a while because we've already covered that so much tonight. Let's see. Jason says, I received the J&J vaccine in April. One and done, no side effects. Let's see. Van Turn, I was watching the volcano eruption from my front yard up close. We didn't have electricity or water in Tagaytay for like 2 weeks. I remember that, Van, because I was here. And I remember seeing the lightning at night. I actually filmed it way over here in Tracy. I have videos up on that. So if you go back to my videos, you can't see it that much, but you can see the little sparks in the sky. You know, it's kind of cool. So if you go back in my videos, you can see that. You know, Mr. Steel Palm, money in cash loses value over time. Yeah, yes it does. Robert Dyer says, look into global X ETFs. I stick with like Moon, ARK ETFs. There's one AI one I'm looking into, and there's a couple of other ones that are real estate ones, and I think the other one is VOOS. You know, I'm in a few of them. A couple of them make really good dividends for me. Zane Underwood, Richard Out would be the best friend. Let's see. What's a hammer for nearly all COVID deaths in the U.S. now among unvaccinated? Let's see. Brian, dude, can you get a safety deposit box in the Philippines banks, and do you trust the banks? They're not as safe as the United States. They only protect your money up to a certain point. So, yes, you can get safety deposit boxes in some banks. Okay, you can. Just a FYI, but you have to look and find them. Okay. Zane Underwood says, thanks, Steve. Great live stream. Again, appreciate all your hard work. Thumbs up to you, buddy. Have a good one. Yeah, we're going to be signing off here anyway in a couple minutes. I'll read a couple more, and then we're going to end this tonight, guys. I really want to thank you guys. Be sure to give me a thumbs up, guys. And we will have another vlog tomorrow, and it's a really, really good one. You may want to pay attention to, okay, guys? Like I said, that's about the Medicare. I'm hoping to get that out probably tomorrow or the next day. So I just want to read the article. So tomorrow morning when I get up, I'm going to try to put it together, and I'll try to get it out tomorrow if I can, okay? And I'll get it on there as early as I can. Let's see. Brian Sherry said, had 2 shots AstraZeneca vaccine, and I'm still alive and kicking. David C. says, yes, I don't see them lowering age for Medicare. These programs are going broke. Yes, that's what that article's about. You know, so I can't see them lowering it to 60, like some people are saying. But I can see them making it so that it works outside the country. And if it works in the Philippines, man, that's going to be really good for us. And it would actually save them money. Van Turner says Medicare and SS are going broke. Let's see. What's a hammer for us? Says clarification. Nearly all COVID-19 deaths in the U.S. are among unvaccinated people, according to government data analyzed by Associated Press. Well, I mean, those are the ones that died mostly in the beginning. Amphib Av says, Steve, the VA hooked me up with prescriptions and sent me hoses and masks, filters for APAP, all free, mailed to my house. The meds are all free till September 30th, no co-payment. Now that's back in the States though, right? So I would think, okay. Smoky Mountain Model says, I miss Wall Street with Louis Ruckhiser. Brian Sherry, Caparn, good for you, but realize that we are not computers. One size does not fit all. Jack Tripper says, does milk over there taste the same? Yeah, the Nestle milk does. It does taste the same. I don't see much of a difference. I eat it, I drink milk with cookies and stuff like that in my cereal, and it tastes fine. You know, Wally says, if I get my retirement visa, can I still stay in the U.S. until I'm ready to retire? You would have to come over here to get it, your retirement visa, and then you could go back if you want to. Yeah, you'd have to get your card every year, but you could do that from over there. I believe you can anyway, because they just mail it to you. I just turned 50, he says, and I think it'd be nice to have in case something happens. Or you think it's better to wait? I actually think it's better to wait. It's not a big deal, you know. But yeah, you can do it. But you'd have to come over here to get actually physically get it. Steel, Mr. Steel Pump says San Juan La Union is awesome. I heard it is. I might actually go there someday and check it out. Paul Osborne says it is extremely unlikely that Medicare will lower the age to 60. Is very, very likely that it will raise the age. Medicare is going broke. Yeah, they said in a few years too. See, Nice Tub and Tile Refinishing says, hey Steve, Alibaba stock is a very good investment right now. It might be part of some of my ARK investments. It might be one of those, because ARK is like buying a basket of stocks, because it's an ETF. John Cawley says, do you pay taxes in your U.S. pension? I heard if you stay in the Philippines for 1 year that you are a bona fide resident. That's not totally true, and can apply to stop paying taxes in the U.S. It's true to a certain extent. You'd have to talk to your tax person about that. I'm not really up on that. I did talk to the lady. There was some stipulations with that, and she says that I still had to pay taxes for whatever reason. So, but I hear what you're saying. There is ways that you can go around that. What's a hammer for says Tripper? Yes, fresh milk tastes exactly the same. Dave C. The latest great president we had was Reagan. The U.S. had to respect the other countries and help bring down the wall. Yeah, he did a lot of good stuff, man. Let's see. Let's see. Brian says, Jack Tripper, yeah, I think I would miss cow's milk from the UK. He. Let's see. Tom Pierce says, Steve, have you ever taken one of those Long Island hopper ferry boats, the ones with the beds on board, where you're bored, or did they have activities pre-COVID? No, I have not. I have not. I was actually thinking about going to another island that way just to try it out, though. But my girlfriend talked to me and said that they only serve like certain foods on there and stuff like that. I was like, nah, I'll pass on that. I'll fly. If we go someplace. But we haven't traveled anywhere because of the COVID stuff. So let's see. Abdul Rauf Aman mom says, how often do you visit your Filipino neighbor? Daily. We see each other every day. I actually have the baby over here every day. That's my godchild. I'm very close with my neighbors. Very close. Jack Tripper, they're like family. Jack Tripper says, thanks, Brian. Smoky Mountain Water, wish I could join you. Let's see. USA to Philippines Life says, I was very outspoken on politics, but I have backed away from it now, focusing on preparing for early retirement in the Philippines now instead. But I'm going to call it a night, guys, because we're up here to about 100 minutes. We got 125 people on here. I want to thank all you guys for joining us. And as I always tell you guys, if you guys ever need anything or need any help or have any questions or anything, you can usually leave them in the comment section, and we usually will answer them, okay? And if you guys ever need to contact me or anything like that, feel free to email me at steven5975@yahoo.com. Sometimes it does take me a while to answer emails because we get flooded with emails a lot. But I try to answer as many as I can, guys. And I usually answer probably about 98 to 99% of them. Okay, so if you guys write, I usually check and I usually see it. Sometimes I do miss a few. So if I miss it, just, if I don't answer you within like 3 or 4 days, just put another comment or send me another email and I will see it. Usually I answer a good amount of them because I spend about 4 to 6 hours a day answering emails, phone calls, and comments. So just FYI, if you guys have any problems or any questions, especially with SRRV stuff, I can help you with the agent and stuff like that. But anyway, guys, God bless, and thank you for watching, guys. And be sure to check out my older vlogs too, guys, because there's a lot of older vlogs that you guys miss and stuff like that. But I'm going to be rehashing some of those videos and redoing it and you know, adding new stuff to them too. So we will be rehashing some of those older videos. But there's a lot of little nuggets in there you guys can check out. But anyway, guys, God bless and thank you, guys.